Classical Indian literature presents the heroine, the Nayika, within a rigid, highly technical system of classification hidden beneath the poetic surface. Analyzing this figure requires reconciling two distinct and often competing analytical frameworks that ancient scholars used to categorize women. The first is the Kama Shastra, the ancient Indian tradition of sociological and pragmatic instruction, best exemplified by Vatsyayana. This framework categorizes women based on their socio-legal status and reproductive utility. On the left, the pragmatic Kama Shastra. On the right is the second framework, the Kavya Shastra, the tradition of poetics and literary theory seen in texts like the Sahitya Darpana. The Kavya Shastra categorizes women based on emotional devotion, relational dynamics, and their capacity to generate dramatic tension. Decoding classical texts requires mapping these two taxonomies onto one another, revealing how ancient scholars translated sociological realities into aesthetic archetypes. Analyzing foundational Indian literature effectively involves viewing the poetic romance through its underlying structural architecture. This hierarchical tree visually maps the Kama Shastra framework from first principles. At the root is the Nayika, or heroine. The primary classifying variable here is Phala Vidaka, the division of women by their outcome, or the fruit of the union. Based on this utilitarian outcome, the root heroine branches into three primary types: the Kanya, the Punarbhagu, and the Vesya. The Kanya is the unmarried virgin. Depending on her marriage, her outcome is categorized as either Putraphala, yielding legitimate offspring, or Sukhaphala, yielding pleasure. These outcomes are governed by caste. Putraphala is achieved through a Savarna, or same-caste marriage, while Sukhaphala denotes an Asavarna, or lower caste union. Below the Kanya is the Punarbhu, the remarried woman. Her socio-legal status is lowered by her prior attachments. Even if she is Akshatayoni, a virgin who is remarried, her offspring are categorized as Paunarbhava. At the base of this legal hierarchy sits the Vesya, the courtesan. She is classified as Samanya, meaning common to all. The strictness of these categories is illustrated by an anecdote regarding the grammarian Chandragupta. While starving on a journey, he was offered food by a Shudra girl who requested marriage. Chandragupta refused, insisting he must first secure Putraphala through higher caste marriages before he could accept her lower caste union. In the Kama Shastra model, a heroine's value is calculated by legal marriageability and caste-based reproductive utility. Literary theorists like Vishvanatha and Mati Ram move away from this outcome-based system. In the Kavya Shastra, the focus shifts to relational ownership and the heroine's emotional state. This literary tree contains three primary nodes: Swakya, Parakya, and Ganika. The Swakya is the archetype of the devoted, modest wife. She is defined by Vinyayaryavadi Yukta, a combination of fidelity, modesty, and dedication to household duties. The second node is the Parakya, another's wife. She is defined by illicit love for the protagonist, serving as a catalyst for dramatic tension. Finally, we have the Ganika, or the courtesan. While poets use Ganika interchangeably with the Vesya, they emphasize her artistic skill over legal status. The Kavya Shastra measures a heroine's worth by her capacity for romantic devotion and narrative intrigue. To read ancient texts accurately, we must observe how these two disparate systems align. We begin by mapping the legal outcomes of the Kanya to the Swakya. When an unmarried Kanya is married according to proper rites, regardless of her caste status, she transitions into the devoted, poetic role of the Swakya. This creates a unique state for the Anyuda, the unmarried Kanya who falls in love before wedlock. The Anyuda exercises agency in choosing her husband, creating a categorization problem within these rigid systems. This occurs in Damayanti's love for Nala, or Samyogita choosing Prithviraj at her Swayambara. Because these women still legally belong to their father's house, their illicit love technically categorizes them as Parakya, belonging to another. Once the marriage is completed, they legally and poetically solidify into the Swakya archetype. The idealized romantic heroines found in classical Indian literature are a product of these underlying utilitarian marital laws. The sharpest point of disagreement between these frameworks occurs at the Parakya, or another's wife. Splitting the concept of the Parakya reveals the deep ideological divide between the two disciplines. The Kama Shastra maintains a pragmatic view. Chapter 5 outlines specific situational utilities for engaging with another's wife to achieve a specific objective. The Sahitya Darpana views the same woman through a cynical, moralistic lens. The literary framework defines the adulteress, or kulta, through manipulative traits, feigning shyness, loitering at windows, and signaling to others at festivals. This divergence highlights the difference between a text designed for sociological navigation and one designed for dramatic moral instruction. The emotional depth found in the Kavya Shastra relies on the specific socio-legal proelparism established by the Kama Shastra.